right, so someone says, reasons why I'm not at the next level. I don't focus every day on my business. Okay? Haven't made my list yet. Okay. Can't read that. I haven't wanted it bad enough. Okay. Daily habits with calling my team. Showing the plan more. Someone said, I just started, so I didn't really believe that I could build the business without knowing the business. Okay, we got procrastination, broken focus, lack of belief, lack of consistency. Wasn't serious enough about my wife. Haven't developed leaders, no momentum, forgiveness, accountability, not working hard. Not going live on social media, procrastination, content. Became complacent, did not form a true mastermind, broken focus, got comfortable. I'm not recruiting like I should. I'm not giving specific tasks to my leaders. I'm not encouraging enough people to build. I'm not sacrificing enough. Personal self-development, not developing leaders. Okay, so what are these? They're more than excuses. Okay? These are thoughts. These are your thoughts. And thoughts become things. When you can get yourself to the point where there are no reasons why you're not, that's when you'll go to the next level. As long as in the back of your mind, all I had you do was take what was in the back of your mind and put it on paper. As long as these things are in the back of your mind as to why you're not going to the next level, it will hold you at the level that you're at. Okay? The response, when it's time, all right? By the time you're leaving LA, all right? The response will be, there is no business. Because I'm already there. Does that make sense? This wouldn't be part of your thought process. Okay? These thoughts would not be part of your thought process. Because every one of these thoughts have an opposite. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you said focus was your challenge, could you get more focused? Yes. If you're not showing the plan enough, if that was one of the reasons why you said you're not going to the next level, could you start showing the plan more?
Yes.
So would you agree that there's nothing that you put down on this paper, right, that does not have an opposite? Would you agree?
Yes.
Right? That there's nothing that you put down on this paper that you couldn't change. So why haven't you changed it? Only reason why you haven't changed it is because you're dwelling. These are the thoughts that are in the back of your mind. So you're operating in this business, you're working this business, but you're operating with these beliefs. I believe I haven't gone to the next level because I missed an event that will never happen again. I'm not at the next level because I missed yesterday. Yesterday will never come again. So if that's the case, that means that you should never go to the next level. Does that make sense? Because yesterday's not coming back. That event's not coming back. All right, so, well, my leaders are not doing this. So now what's happened is you've gotten to a mode of where you're looking at your leaders as the reason why you should go to the next level. And if you want to be in bondage, if you want to be in prison to your business, continue to think that way. Listen. I want it to be you. Trust me. I want the 1,000 chairmen to be everybody in this room. I do. With all my heart. But if it's not, there still will be 1,000 chairmen. You can't put your success in the hands of someone else.
Come on now.
And say, because they're not doing this, that's why I'm not where I want to be. Okay. See, a lot of these reasons here, these are leadership reasons. Watch this. These are leadership challenges and these are belief challenges. That's I could read every single one of them. Inconsistent focus, this is a belief and leadership challenge. Because one of the characteristics of a great leader is what? Focus. The ability to focus. But one of the things that allow a person to focus is what? Their belief. Their ability to believe. Belief is an ability. It's a strength. It's a muscle that has to be worked on. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. What I would do if I were each and every one of you, okay? If you're 30 or younger, raise your hand. 30 or younger. Okay. 25 or younger, raise your hand. 25 or younger. Okay. Majority of you are 25 or younger. Right. What I would do if I were you, I would create, and if you're over 30, it doesn't matter. I created a 4 to 5 year picture of who I wanted to become. So if I was 21, I would create a picture of who I wanted to become at 25. If I was 25, I would create a picture of who I wanted to become at 30. If I was 30, I would create a picture of who I wanted to become at 35. If I was 35, I would create a picture. Right now, I have a picture of who I am at 40. I've planned my 40th birthday. I planned it out. I know exactly how it's going to go. I know it's going to be 400 guests there. It's going to be off the chain. Okay? I've actually planned the 50-year-old David, 13 years from now. Okay? Because all of these reasons, okay? Energy, consistency, discipline, confidence, these are all leadership. Right? So now, I had you give it to me. All right? What's the word? Metaphorically? Is that the word? Mm-hmm. Okay. I had you give me your excuses. So now,
we don't have them anymore.
You no longer have them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And I'm gonna like this is gone. All right. So now we can move forward with a clean slate.
Come on now.
Because all of this is your past. Whatever it is you wrote here doesn't exist anymore. You gave it to me. Okay? I can handle it. All right? So it's a clean slate. Doesn't matter what you did yesterday. Doesn't matter what you did last month. Doesn't matter what you did yesterday. Take everything you're going to get from this weekend, completely focus on the person that you want to create, the person that you desire to become. and only focus on that person. Don't focus on anything else, anyone else. When I learned how to get a singular focus, see, it's hard to focus on many different things. It's very simple to focus on one thing. Does that make sense? And then that one thing that I'm focused on, I now develop the game, so to speak, develop the attributes, or develop the elements of how do I believe for this, and how do I develop my leadership skills in order to become the person that deserves this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay? A singular focus. Now, when I was where all of you are right now, I had a singular focus on what my next rank was. Okay? I did not jump ahead because I had not developed the muscle to jump ahead. If any of you work out, you have a trainer, right? When you first start working out, right? He or she is not going to have you do what they do. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. They're going to find out what you can do. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. They're going to find out what you can do. They're going to work with you based on what you can do. And over through the process of what? Time, 30 days, 90 days, right? They're going to move you through a progression of where 90 days later, you will be far from where you started. Mm-hmm. But imagine if the trainer had you day one trying to do what it is that they do. How would that work out? Mm-hmm. How long will you stay with that trainer? Okay? Either two things are going to happen with that trainer. One, you might get hurt. Not might, you actually will get hurt trying to do what it is that they do. And then more likely you're going to quit. So what I'm going to recommend you do is we know that chairman is the ultimate goal. But I don't want you to focus just on chairman. I want you to focus on the formula that I'm going to give you in order to hit the next rank. Because when you understand the formula, you will go beyond chairman. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I have developed myself to the point where with this formula, I've gone from believing for 10 grand a month to believing for $1 million a day. Come on. But when I first got it, I wasn't believing for $1 million a day. That would be the equivalent of the trainer trying to get me to lift 400 pounds when I'm just getting started. But I've moved from what? Faith to faith. I've moved from belief to belief. I've developed the muscle of belief through this formula. Because here's what's going to happen. If you hit a rank, P5, P2, Chairman 10, 25, if you hit the rank without understanding this, you're going to be frustrated. I guarantee it. There are Chairman 10s right. How many of you would love to be Chairman 10? Raise your hand if you would love to be Chairman 10. Okay. You know there are Chairman 10s right now that are absolutely frustrated that they're Chairman 10. Now, you would love to be a Chairman 10, but there's someone else right now looking at their back office like, I can't believe this. Why? Because they haven't learned. They're still looking at things from a natural standpoint. They're Chairman 25s that are frustrated that they're Chairman 25. They're Chairman 50s that are frustrated. They're Chairman 100s that are frustrated. Yes, Chairman 100s. 100, yes, 100 grand a month. Frustrated, upset, livid. That they're making 100 grand a month. Do you know why? Because someone else is making 250. So guess what? That's a spiritual issue. Because they're looking at what someone else has,
Come on.
and they're completely taking their eyes off of what they should be what? Grateful
Focus
for.
on. Yeah. Gratitude.
So I would love for you to learn this now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that as you move from faith to faith, you know, as I go to the next round, okay, this is all I got to do. Okay, I got it. And the beautiful part about it is, it's not going to have anything to do with what other people do. It's not going to have anything to do with what other people do or don't do. Because you will literally attract everything that you need in order to do and get to where it is that you want to get to.
That's right.
Okay? Now my hope is that you really, really, really listen. And not just hear me today. Like really listen with your heart. Because all of you can hear me, but I hope all of you are listening. All right? Because what's going to happen is if you don't listen, you will be stuck. And some of you may be stuck at P2, some of you may be stuck at P5, some of you may be stuck at Chairman 10. I've seen leaders be stuck at Chairman 50. Okay. If you don't really listen. So whatever that next goal is, whatever that is, whatever your rank is right now, whatever the next goal is, that should be your singular focus. Don't jump ahead. Okay? Whatever that next rank is, you know what that is. Let that be your singular focus. Now, the beautiful part about this is that there's someone in this room. Okay? There are a couple people in this room that have hit the next rank that you want to hit. Does that make sense? Yeah. They've already done it. So they know how to do it. All right? So you don't have to necessarily worry about the how. Because we can show you the how. The how is really, really simple. All right? So in that training that, can you trash this? We're trashing their excuses. Burn it. Yeah, I don't know. It's not my crib, so I don't know if you want to burn it. Trash it, tear it up. All right. But in that training, right there, I wrote down this formula. Okay. And I've utilized this formula now for the last 11 years, and it's worked. It's worked. And when I wrote it down, it wasn't until about a year later where I really understood it. Like I was laughing when I really got it. Because I was laughing out because I was like, it can't be this simple. Like I've been struggling for 6 years. It can't be this simple, but it actually is. Okay? Now, before I give you the formula, there's one thing that will, and we've addressed it, all right? Because what you wrote down were excuses, reasons, why not. What you really wrote down are your distractions. Okay? Your distractions. You have to eliminate all distractions. And the easiest way to eliminate distractions is to have a singular focus on what is it that you want. And just simply ask yourself, is what I want more important than these distractions? What's more important? What's more important? Are my distractions more important than what it is that I really want for my life? No. The answer is an absolute no. Okay? So, a singular focus starts with your desire. Desire is the starting point of all achievement. That desire is the next rank. Are you with me?
Yeah.
That desire is what? It's the next rank. If you're P2, don't talk to me about Chairman 10. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is, when you do that, all right? Let me tell you what you're doing, because I've done it before. All right? It's really fear. That's what it is. I'm afraid I won't get to this level, so I'll shoot for the one above it.
Wow.
All right? The next rank. Because it's not about the rank, it's about understanding this formula that allows you, because what I'm sharing with you works for $5 grand a month, 10 grand a month, it works for $1 million a day. The same thing I did for 10 grand a month is the same thing I'm doing right now for $1 million a day. Same exact thing. Nothing different. Same methodology. So the next rank, whatever that next rank is, P5, don't talk to me about Chairman 25. Because, oh, you've been P5 for a long time, so now, okay, I'm going 25. No. Yeah, I know. No, you next is 10. You gotta go 10 first. Right? So if you're a P5 and you say that to me, and we have a one-on-one conversation, I'm gonna say, well, what about Chairman 10? I've never seen anybody, skip it. Right? They hit it. They hit 10 before they went to 25. Okay. So whatever that next rank is, that's what I want your focus to be. Your singular focus. That is your desire. Okay? Now you have an ultimate goal for your life and where does you want to go and all that good stuff. But for the business, a singular focus is your next rank. What is your next rank? What is your next rank?
Chairman.
Okay, so if you're a P5, your next rank is what? Chairman 10. Okay. Everybody in the room is at least a P2, right? So P2, right? If you're a P2, your next rank is what?
P5.
P5. So here's what I want you to do. All right. This is simple stuff. Very simple stuff. I want you to, before you leave, all right? Before you leave LA, figure it out, okay? And I want you to get your hands on an index card. It's about this size. Okay? You guys see it? And I want you to simply write down on this card, all right, your singular focus, which is what?
P5.
Your next rank. Whatever that is. Okay? So it's, and you write it down this way. I am so happy and grateful now that I am, whatever the next rank is, in I Am Mastery Academy by September 30th, 2020. Let's go.
Let's go.
That is your only what?
Focus.
Not all the nonsense you wrote down. Doesn't exist anymore. You gave it to me, and I threw it away. This is your only focus here. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am
P5.
10, 1,000, you're Chairman 10, Chairman 25, all right? Okay. Now, you have written it down, and in that statement, you also have a date of completion. It is August, what, 15th? All right, so that's 45 days from now. Usually after leadership retreats like this, the explosion happens 45 to 60 days out. Okay? That's what happens. So that's why I put September 30th for the date. Okay? Now, who's a P2? You're qualifying P2 right now. Qualified P2 right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many P1s do you have in your group right now?
About 3.
3. Okay. Who else is a P2? P2? How many P1s do you have? 2. Okay. P2? How many P1s do you have? 2. All right. So here's the deal. For P5, your only focus is developing 5 P1000. All right. Now watch this. You're going to have hundreds of people coming to your business. Right? Over the course of you doing this, you're going to have hundreds. You're going to have thousands of people coming to your business. All right? You have to learn how to narrow your focus. I guess he's burning the excuses. All right. You have to learn to what?
Narrow your focus.
To narrow your focus. What do I mean by that? My goal is P5. All right? I'm going to deal with the P5 goal right now. P5 design. I'll talk about sharing in a second. And I can get bogged down with a lot of people in my group. I can literally get frustrated with what majority of my group is doing. How many of you agree? All right? Because majority of your group, they're not going to do what they need to do in order for them to be successful. Y'all know that, right?
Right.
Okay? Majority of them. Think about it. There's, I don't know, 300,000 to 400,000 customers and IBOs in this company. And our goal is 1,000. What does that mean? That means that we're not focused on the 400,000. We're focused on narrowing what? Narrowing the focus down to what? 1,000. 1,000 is much easier to deal with than 400,000. So now when you look at it from that perspective and say, okay, my goal is to go P5, I'm not looking at 225 customers. What I'm looking at is 5 people. All right? The number is really 3 to 5 people. But let's just go with the high number and say 5. 5 people that I help get to P1. I'm going to be a P5. So am I focused on the 225 people? What's easier to focus on? The 225 people or 5 people? 5 people. Where do I place all my energy? On 5. Where do I place all my work? On the 5. The Zoom calls I'm doing? On the 5. The calls that I'm making? Right? Because now, not only will I call the person I'm working with directly, because I'm helping this person go P1, I'm going to call down deep in their organization as well. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
So we're going to do this balance between belief and leadership. All right? I've given you a belief principle, which is writing it down and writing it down a specific way, putting it on an index card. If you want to become fanatical like I am, I actually have it printed out. It's laminated. I printed out 20 of them, and they're all over my house, all over my high-rise. So if I go in my kitchen, I see it. I go in my bedroom, I see it. I go in my living room, I see it. I go in the shower, I see it. I'm in the bathroom, I see it. Everywhere I go, I see where I'm going. I don't know if you want to take it that far. It's up to you. I'm taking it that far. Okay? Because belief is what you see. If what you're seeing is your leaders not listening, that's what you're going to continue to get. If what you see is what's in your back office, that's what you're going to continue to get. When you look in your back office, are you like motivated? Are you like excited? No. 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 Your back office will never show you what you want. It will only show you where you currently are. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When you log into your back office right now, it's not going to show you what you want. It's going to show you where you are. So you can't spend more time looking at the back office than you do looking at where it is that you want to go. Now, to bounce over to leadership, now it's okay. My goal is leadership is something you attract. By who you become. 2 books I'm going to recommend to you that I want you to study. Not read, study. There's a big difference. Developing the leader within you. All right? Because a lot of you get fooled. You get bamboozled by people. Right? They tell you, hey man, I'm ready. I'm gonna do this thing. And you know what you do? You get excited. You like, man, you talk to Rhea, like, man, I got some. Man, she really serious about it. Man, he really, how many know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
And you get bamboozled. You're fooled. Because you don't know the characteristics you're supposed to look for in a leader. Because you haven't either developed those characteristics in you, and if you haven't developed those characteristics in you, how are you going to attract someone else with those characteristics? Because if you're inconsistent, why would you attract someone who is consistent? They're going to look at you like, well, hold on, you're not consistent. Why should I follow you? And they won't consciously say that to you, but subconsciously, you won't even find them. They won't even come into your world, your atmosphere. If you don't possess the right leadership characters, you're not going to attract the leaders that you're looking for. Leadership is something you attract. And that takes time. That's not an overnight thing. But you have to start now. Does that make sense? Yes. You have to start now. So you get the book, Developing the Leader Within You, study it. Get the book and the audio. So when you're not reading the book, and you're not on a call, a 3-way call or a Zoom, you're listening to it. Developing the Leader Within You. Once you're done with that, get the book Developing Leaders Around You. All right? That book really, really helped me out. Developing leaders around you. Because now you've got to know what are the characteristics so I don't get fooled. Because remember, I'm looking to narrow my focus down to a certain group of people. So I can't be playing around with folk that are not really serious. Now, when you know they're not serious, an immature leader will tell them you're not serious. See, how many of you have literally, and I want you to be honest, this is a leadership training now, how many of you literally had conversations with people that you know that conversation is probably one of the reasons why they quit the business? Because you told them. You told them the truth. Right? You told them that, hey, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So, you're my boss.
Wow.
Because that's what a boss says. A leader doesn't say that. Right? A leader understands. Rhea, how many chairmen you got? 5 chairmen. Did you hear that? Yeah. So out of all the people, if you just have 5, they got a household income of 80 to 85 grand a month. Just with 5. But you get frustrated with people because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And then you tell them, Do you know the problem with you telling them that? The problem is not that you told them. The problem is that they're taking your focus.
So
They have robbed you of your focus. They have robbed you of the I'm so happy and grateful now. Because if I'm happy and grateful now, you want to put your head on this floor and put your leg up. Go ahead, girl. Man, that's awesome. You're doing great. Look at leadership like a deck of cards. How many cards in a deck? 52, right? How many aces in there?
4.
4. Only 4. You flip it over. This is what you do. You flip it over, right? And you have a 4 of hearts. And you go, this is my ace. This is the one. Now you know it's a 4 of hearts. The 4 of hearts, they know they're 4 of hearts. But you spend time, this is my ace. Then you get frustrated, then you fling the card, you flip the next one, and it's a 2 of spades. And you go, you know what? I know that one really wasn't my ace, but this one, this is the one. You know how long you can do that? Not for long. Not for long before you get frustrated and quit. What you do is you let the 4 of hearts be a 4 of hearts. You let the dud in your business be the dud. You let the 10 of clubs, you let them be 10 of clubs. I'm not going to try and change you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Because here's the deal. I need all 52 cards. So I can't throw away. You see what I'm saying? I can't throw away the 2 of clubs. No, I just put it back in the deck at the bottom. But you're still here with me. You're still on auto ship. You're still on auto ship. You know what? Plug you into the calls. Plug you into the events. Maybe the call. Maybe something Riha says on the call. Maybe something Sydney says on the call will reach you. Because apparently I haven't developed myself enough for you to buy into me. And that's okay. That's okay. Because I'm not trying to force you to buy into me. Does that make sense? Here's why. I can't allow anyone to rob me of my focus.
That's right.
Because the moment I start paying attention to what you're not doing, then I am literally paying attention to something that is not moving me in the direction I want to go in. Right? Does that make sense, guys? All right. So you develop the leader within you. Characteristics. What are the characters? There's about 25 in that book. Okay? I'm going to give you my top 5. Integrity. Integrity is, can I count on your word? Right? If you say you're going to do something, do you do it? Work ethic. Positive mental attitude. So I'm looking for this in people that I work with, and people that I coach, people that I mentor. I'm like, does this person have integrity? Does this person have a positive mental? Do they have a positive outlook? For them to have a positive outlook, they have a strong personal self-development regimen. They're listening to the audios. They're reading the books. Is this person excited about personal self-development? Because some people listen to personal self-development, and then some people are excited about it. I'm excited. I get excited about it. I don't just listen to it. I'm like, man, this is incredible stuff. Even still to this day, I will pay $15,000, $20,000 to go sit and listen to Bob Proctor, even though I know what he's gonna say. I will still do that because I'm like, man, this is incredible stuff. Because as I'm listening to it, it's reaffirming what I'm already doing. I'm sitting there just smiling like, man, I'm already doing this. This is good. Do they have a positive mental attitude? Do they have a pleasing personality? That's a big one. Do they have a pleasing personality? Pleasing personality within that is, do they have the ability to communicate the right way to people? You gotta communicate with people from an inclusive standpoint, not from a boss standpoint, not from a, okay, this is what you gotta do. No, this is what we're gonna do. If I want you to do a call, I'm not gonna say, hey, you need to do a call. I'm saying, listen, here's what we need to do. We need to do a call. All right? See, you need to do it sounds like what? We need to do it. It's a leader. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I gave you, how many did I give you?
5.
That was 5? Okay.
That's 5.
Do you have integrity?
Work
pleasing
ethic.
personality?
Work
You have
ethic.
work ethic?
Positive mental attitude. Ability to properly
You said
communicate
pleasing
with other
personality
people.
and ability to communicate
with
with
other
one,
people.
too.
Within that, pleasing personality. Okay. Character. Within pleasing personality also, all right, very important, this is crucial, all right, within pleasing personality, is understanding who you're working with. All right, the personality and who you're working with. Because that will also determine how you can communicate with that person, how you should communicate with that person. Okay. How many of you have ever heard the magic of colors? Okay. Magic of colors. Red, blue, green, yellow. Okay? What's a red? Sharp. Okay? Very aggressive. Very competitive. Money motivated. How many of you are reds in here? Raise your hand if you're a red. Okay? Raise your hand if you have, raise your hand if you're a red. Raise your hand if you're a red. Okay. Blues. They want to have fun. That's the first thing on their mind. They want to have fun. All right? They're the life of the party. Who's a blue in here? Okay.
Only blue.
All right. Yellow. Very caring, very nurturing.
Magic of
They want to save the whales. Aggressive. Money motivated. All right. Greens are very analytical. Very analytical. They want to know all the numbers. They want to know the ins and outs of everything.
Blue and a red.
Okay. Here's what you want to become. You want to become a chameleon. All right. You want to become a chameleon. Someone who is all of those colors when they need to be.
That's right.
Now, there's a lot of characteristics. I mean, leaders are disciplined. Leaders are consistent, right? Leaders are focused. Leaders have the ability to solve problems. John C. Maxwell breaks down about 25 of them. Okay? The whole ball game, ladies and gentlemen, to your success is belief in leadership. It's the whole ball game. Your singular focus is P5. You're P2 in this room, your singular focus is P5. So that means that what I'm speaking every day and what I'm seeing every day is Platinum 5000. Don't worry about the Platinum 5000. Because one day it's going to be Chairman 10. One day it's going to be 10,000 a day. It doesn't matter what the actual number is. It's understanding this process. Once you understand, now you become free. Now you know, okay, this is what I got to do. But you've got all these wins. Does that make sense? If I'm a P2 right now, my goal is Chairman 50, how am I going to look at Platinum 5000? I'm going to look at it like it's no big deal. How am I going to look at Chairman 10? I'm going to look at it like it's no big deal. How am I going to look at Chairman 25? Look at it. But guess what? You're not even going to get to those levels because you're going to be frustrated. See, every turn counts. See, when I was coming here, right, and I put the address, the final destination when he parked and I got out the car, that was the final destination, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he had to make some left turns. He had to make some right turns. He had to get on a highway. What if while he was making those left turns, and while he was making those, man, why are you not there already? Man, why are we getting on a highway? Mm-hmm. Well, man, these are all the things we got to do to get to where it is that you want to go.
That was good.
So all the minutiae that you've gone through, all the things that you're going to go through in this business, those are all the left turns and the right turns and the getting on the highway. So why are you frustrated? Because even when you get to your destination, guess what? There's going to be another destination.
That's right.
Does that make sense? Yeah. No one is going to stay here forever. So you get so frustrated at, oh man, I'm not a Chairman 10 yet. And the biggest issue you have, let me tell you the biggest issue you have, is that you're watching other people succeed and you start to think something is wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you start to think, man, they must be doing something. They doing something. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something. So other people's success becomes what? A distraction. Because if they were failing, guess what? You would say something about that too.
Wow.
If nobody was winning and I am, like nobody was winning, would you even be in the company? No. You'd be like, it's not working. But people are winning, you go, what's wrong with me? Both don't lead you to where it is you want to go. Is this making sense, guys?
Yes.
So you have a singular focus. My singular focus is I'm on P5. That's all I'm going. P5. I know my singular focus now. I'm gonna narrow it down. My focus on 225 people. I'm not focusing on all. No, I'm looking at the 5 people that I'm gonna help. Because I'm a P2, so because I'm a P2, I know how to get to P1. And I know how to get to P2 because I've done it. So if I help these amount of people, 3 to 5 people go P1, then boom, I'll be a P5. So if this person doesn't do what they're supposed to do for themselves, I'm not going to allow that. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I'm not going to allow my words or my thoughts to now take me off what? Track. Where it is that I want to go. So I write down the desire. Okay. I put it where I can see it every day. I have a date of completion for it. Okay. Now, here's my belief. I don't believe that God would create anything imperfect. I think he creates everything perfect. I think he's put everything on the inside of you that's necessary in order for you to get to the purpose that he has on your life. What you have to learn to do now is you have to learn how to master and how to utilize your 5 senses in order to get to where it is you want to go. Your 5 senses. Okay. Can you see my phone? Just one of them. It's the big one. Thank you. Okay. Your 5 senses are so powerful. Okay? They're absolutely amazing. You guys know that?
Yeah.
Okay. I just put on Google, I said, what do your five senses do? Okay? It says there are five senses: sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. Our senses help us to understand what is happening around us. Our senses send messages through a receptor cells to our brain using our nervous system to deliver that message. Okay? So your five senses allow you to understand what is happening around you. So, question, what is happening around you? These pictures and these signs that your senses are seeing, it's helping you understand what is happening around you. What is what? Happening. So if what you're seeing is not where it is that you want to go, if all you're hearing is not where you want to be, that's all you're ever going to understand.
Come on.
See, that's why you coming to this Airbnb. That's why you coming to LA. Saying that's why leadership training make the big difference, because now we're moving you out of your current environment and we're bringing you into a completely different environment where your senses can experience something far greater than what you're normally experiencing. Is this making sense?
Yep.
All right. So you have to learn how to master your five senses. So what you're hearing and what you're seeing, all right, are so critical. When I got a hold of this information, I took a dollar bill. I learned it on The Secret. I took a dollar bill. I changed it to $100,000. Every morning I would pick it up. Literally 4.5 years of failing in network marketing, 6 months of doing this. 6 months I made $100,000. You got to do the corny stuff, the stupid stuff, stuff that other people don't want to do. I would go to Louis Vuitton all the time. I would go to Gucci. I would go to all these different stores. I wouldn't buy anything. Just go in there. Because Louis Vuitton smells different from H&M.
Sure.
Smells a little different. I would go to certain hotels because, you know, the Ritz-Carlton smells different from the Holiday Inn. Desire. Your five senses. Use your five senses to increase your level of desire. Desire plus skill. Okay. Desire plus skill. See, the skills are secondary when it comes to success. They're important, but they're not as important as the spiritual side of success. Remember this. This is how it works. There's 3 parts to you. All right? Your body follows the mind. Your mind follows the spirit. But the question is, who is the spirit? Does anybody know?
Okay.
Yeah. The spirit is the words that's coming out of your mouth. Your spirit is the words that are coming out of your mouth. Does that make sense? So your spirit feeding your mind, and your mind literally controls your what? Body. If you need proof of that, I will read this one more time. There are 5 senses: sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. Our senses help us understand what's happening around us. Our senses send messages through receptor cells to our brain, using our nervous system to deliver that message. Your nervous system is what? It's your body. So if you are sending, if you're using one of your senses, probably the most important one is hearing. If you're using that sense for the wrong thing, it is literally affecting your what? Nervous system. This is why you can't hear garbage. Not from someone else. And most importantly, you can't hear garbage from yourself. So all those things you wrote down, it's all garbage. That you told yourself over and over again, you've heard. It's not just because you spoke it out loud. You said it to yourself and you heard it. And it's now created something in your nervous system where a lot of times you're frustrated. A lot of times you're angry. A lot of times you're impatient. Versus, I'm so happy and grateful now. Does this make sense?
Yes.
So the skill part of it, guys, whatever activity you're doing, increase it. Are you doing 1 call a day? Increase it to 2. Are you doing 2 calls a day? Increase it to 3. If you want it, go get it. I mean, what are the skills? The skills presenting. Can you present? How many you can present? Like show the plan. Okay. The world of network marketing has completely changed today. Social media. If you're not utilizing social media to build your business, then it's almost all but over. Let's be honest with you. Right? Social media plays a huge role. Now, listen. Don't try to use social media the way I use social media. Don't do that. Okay? If I were you, everybody would know I was in Iron. That's what my page would be about. My page would be about my business. Period in the story. It wouldn't be about anything else. It would be about that. Everything that I would do would draw back to that. Does that make sense? All right. Because social media, let me tell you another word for social media. It's prospecting. That's all it is. It's prospecting. It's having massive amount of people hearing about what it is that you're doing. Because yeah, you may go live and maybe 10 people on your live. But what if you have 10 people on your team that are going live? Does that make sense? Right? So, you're posting or you're going live, whatever it is, right? Increase that. It's all a numbers game. You make up in numbers. Jim Rome said this a long time ago. You make up in numbers what you lack in talent. I have been in rooms where I have heard leaders present, and my mouth is wide open. Literally, like, how? How in the world did you get to that level? This is what I don't say that loud. I'm thinking, how? I mean, don't know the slides, don't know nothing. You make up in numbers what you lack in talent. It's simple, right? You're an amazing presenter. You talk to 10 people, 9 get in. Awesome. I'm terrible. I don't know the slides. I only get 1 out of 10. But I talk to 500. You talk to 10. You got 9. I got 50. Who's better? You are. But I got better results. Why? Because I'm playing the numbers game.
Yeah.
That make sense?
Yeah.
I'm playing the numbers game. Are you playing the numbers game? How many people are finding out about your business on a daily basis? You know, if your goal is 225 customers, well, how many people need to find out about my business in order for 225 people to come to my business? I go with the 1 out of 10. Now, you're better than 1 out of 10. You're going to get more than 1 out of 10, but I always go with the 1 out of 10 ratio. So I'm not bogged down with the 2,000 people who are going to say no. I just want to get to the 2,225 people that hear my business. I know the numbers are going to work for me. Does that make sense? Because I'm already happy and grateful now that I'm a P5, so I already know it's done. I just need to go and expose a certain amount of people for a certain amount of people to come into the business. That's it. I'm not worried. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you're worried about it, then you need to go back to what are you thinking? What are you saying? Because if you're worried about if it's going to happen or not, and you're still doing the activity, and you get there, that's the worst thing that can happen is that you get there not understanding this. Because when you get there, you're going to be frustrated because you're going to want the next thing. So prospecting, that's social. Presenting is Zoom. How many Zoom presentations are you doing? We have this virtual event, promoting for events. We have this virtual event that's coming up. Okay? Right? This organization, I would say set the goal for 2,000 people to be on there. Right? Because you've done calls with 8 to 1,000 people on a call. So I would set the goal 2,000 people. So how many are you going to have on that virtual event? How many are you going to have? How many are you going to have? You need to write that down. How many are you going to have? How many? And then collectively, before you leave here, give that number to Rihanna and Sydney. Say, okay, this is the amount of people. I'm going to have 100 people on. I'm going to have 200 people on there. When you calculate that number, it's going to be over 2,000 people. Does it make sense? All right. So it's desire plus skill. And those are the 3 skills that you're going to develop, along with the leadership skills. I gave you 2 books that you want to really study. All right? Be patient with yourself. Remember, I told you create the picture of who you're going to be at 25, at 30. All right? You're not going to look the same. You're not going to act the same. All right? Create that person. Times it by faith. Desire plus skill times faith. Faith is patience. Faith is time. Give yourself time. When I say give yourself time, what I'm talking about is do not frustrate yourself through this process. It's the worst thing you can do. Don't be impatient through this process. Have a clear mental picture of who you're becoming. Bless you. The only known method to developing the emotion of faith is autosuggestion. It is the only known method. And autosuggestion is what? What am I saying to myself?
Subconscious.
What am I saying to myself? That's why that affirmation of I'm so happy and grateful now needs to be the dominating thought of your life. Not what someone else is doing or not doing. Not the excuses that you wrote down. The dominating thought will eventually reproduce itself in some, what? Physical action.
Yes.
And then gradually transform themselves into physical reality. When I read that years ago, it gave me a sense of comfort. Faith gives you comfort. Because faith is knowing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It says any desire. Any desire. Here we go. We can go into the Q&A after this. Any desire. You guys get that? What is it? Any desire. So what I want you to do is start with the desire of what's next. And then move on to the next, to the next. And then one day your muscles, your belief muscles are gonna be so big, you don't have to set a goal for the next rank. You don't even have to set a goal for, you can set an outlandish goal. Right? Because watch this, when you understand this, guys, faith allows you to live in the future that you desire in the present. Does that make sense? Like this $1 million a day, right? That I'm like, I feel it right now. I don't have to wait for it to physically happen in order for me to feel good about it right now, because all I see and all I speak is, I'm so happy and grateful now that I earn $1 million a day. Now, do I need to know how that's going to happen? No, that's not my job. It's his job. Right? Any desire that I hold in my mind, how do I hold the desire in my mind? What I'm speaking, what I'm seeing. Does that make sense? Well, now, right, transform into some physical action. So there's going to be some things, once I hold the desire in my mind, once you hold the desire of P5, there are going to be some physical things that you will do. But that desire that you held in your mind is what's going to lead you to the, so now when you're going to make the right phone calls. Your presentations are going to flow. Things are going to go the way they're supposed to go, and then it will gradually transform into physical reality. Boom, you're a P5. Boom, you're a Chairman 10. Chairman 10 is, I'm developing 7 to 10 Platinum 1000. So I narrow my focus. I'm not looking for 500, I'm looking for 7 to 10 people that want to build a team of 30 customers. Does it make sense, guys?
Absolutely.
Free art.
Let's get
Questions?
you coming up for David, please. Dave, we're all so grateful for you, the value that you bring. But we're about to shift real quick to a quick Q&A. I have a few questions I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask a couple from the crowd, and I'm going to let David enjoy his time in LA. Let's clap it up for him one more time for being here. So David, one thing that I learned from you is the principle of giving. Can you go into why you personally give so much and what's the methodology behind it?
Giving is, okay, I want you to write this down. Giving is probably the most selfish thing you can do.
I like that, David.
Giving is probably the most selfish thing you can do. Spiritual laws that you apply in the physical world allow you to have that supernatural experience. Supernatural laws that you apply in the physical allow you to live a supernatural life in a physical world. Supernatural principles. Giving is a supernatural principle. Okay? Allows you to live a supernatural life in a physical world. All right? Physically, it doesn't make sense. I give, right? Physically, it means that I've lost something. Correct?
Yes.
Physically. But the spiritual law says, give, and it shall, what?
Be given unto you.
Be given unto you. So, which means that if I hold it, right, and I don't give it, what does that mean? That means that it can't be given back unto me. That's why I say that giving is probably one of the most selfish things that you can do, because of the return. The return on giving is tremendous.